Hello and welcome, bookworms. Welcome to this week's episode of The Contented Narrative. We are looking at The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. So I've read and I have rated a few Lucy Foleys on this channel already. So this one is the shadows of this ancient wood. This rich socialite gets and tries to open like this wellness retreat, you know, for the uber rich, and it's like, you know, we're going to do this, and you have to fill in personal bios to be able to come to the retreat, and it's like a couple of £1,000 a cabin sort of thing, and it's the opening weekend. But the tagline is, "This isn't a celebration but a deadly reunion." So it's kind of telling two stories. So it's telling the stories of, well, actually, it's kind of telling three, actually. So it's telling the stories of what's happened after the death. It's telling the story of what happened on the opening weekend leading up to the death. And it's telling a story of a good sort of like 15 years ago, or maybe a little bit longer. I can't remember timelines. And basically, you're kind of following these characters. And I love a Lucy Foley because I like trying to figure out, first of all, who the murdered victim is, and then secondly, who the killer is. And this book, it was good, but I think it got a little bit convoluted. And the reason I say that is, with the three storylines, one or two little twists or turns, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But it almost felt like every single character had a part to play. Now, I'm not going to tell you what I mean by that, but I want you to, if you feel the same by the end of the book, please honestly let me know. But it felt like every character had a part to play, and that no one was put there accidentally. And it just sort of felt a bit like, yeah, you know, when you're watching like old films, and it's like, oh yeah, no, they're all connected because every character is important. And it kind of felt like that, and I just kind of reached a point where I was just like, really, again, we've got another connection, like, really. But apart from that, I did enjoy the sort of like the set back in the childhood, and the set sort of like the opening weekend and stuff. I don't know if I needed the after the death has happened narrative as early as it happened. Realistically, it probably could have happened a lot later in the book. But it was enjoyable. I figured out a couple of the little bits, because again, it started getting to a point where I was like, every person they're saying, like so I'm like, oh, I bet that happened, and I bet that's related to that, and I bet that's so and so. I was, and at one point I was making a joke and being like, oh, and I bet so and so's related to, you know. And like, because Michael had read it before me, he knew everything that was happening, and obviously he couldn't give anything away. But he was like, yeah, all right. But I'd kind of half guessed like most of it. But I did enjoy it. It is a good sort of like thriller, in regards to sort of like obviously trying to figure out who it is that's died, who it is that you know the killer is, who like how it came to be. And I would say give it a go. And I do. There are other Lucy Foleys that I do enjoy more than this. I just think this is the weakest one that she's written so far, but it's still a good solid book for me, and I probably would go back to it at some point. But you know, obviously give it a go in whichever way that you want to do. So if you want to read it on hardback, paperback, Kindle, library, however you want to read it, I'd say give it a read. And if you've read other Lucy Foleys and you like that one better, leave the comment below which one's your favourite. And I'd love to hear which ones, you know, because she's got quite a few out now, and we're sort of buying them as they come out. But thank you so much, guys. Thank you for coming back week on week to view my videos. Thank you for leaving likes. Thank you for leaving comments. Thank you for, you know, being a part of this community. And I know I say it on nearly every single video, but it does mean the world to me from the bottom of my heart that I wouldn't still be doing this if I didn't have the people that were viewing my videos. So keep sharing, keep, you know, like going out and reading a book, and every time you go and read a book, it's just like a little point of pride for myself that, you know, we're building up that book community as a whole. So thank you so much for your continued support, and remember to always keep it contento.